Happy Monday from Central New York. Would you believe that this is take number 3 on this video? For some reason, I did 2 videos and the microphone was not good. Hopefully this one turns out. I had started by making my first recipe of gluten-free cookies. I've never done that before. I began baking when I was in high school, always used flour and just regular ingredients, and a friend asked for gluten-free cookies, so I just changed out the almond flour in a recipe and showed her how to make them and went through all the process and baked them, and they came out flat as a pancake. So I'm chilling the dough and I'll see if that makes a difference. I'll let you know. I had also told you about our Monday. We usually take Mondays off because Rob's a pastor and he works all day. He works 6 days a week basically, and it's even busier right now during this time. And we go out to eat and we run errands. We didn't eat out today because everything was closed, but we went to Costco and to another store. And it was very eerie at Costco. Everybody was just kind of doing people weren't talking, they weren't engaging, they weren't even looking at you, and just kind of wanting probably to get into the store and get out, and which was great. I mean, because that's what I wanted to do, or what we wanted to do. I don't really want to be in the stores right now. And then we went to another store, and it wasn't quite the same situation. People were not social distancing. It was very disappointing, and I mean, there were people, I mean, the people that worked at the store were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and they had the checkout stands marked 6 feet apart. The store was doing their part, but the many people that were in the stores were not doing the social distancing, and kind of there just seemed to be a lot of people. And so we got what we needed and came home. I hopefully have what I need for the next couple of weeks. But just really wanting to focus on what our leaders have asked us to do, and it is hard to be at home. It is hard to stay at home and be still if there's not a lot going on. We can try new things. We can be creative. We can get outside and walk and exercise if you're able to. And we can take maybe there's things that you love to do that you haven't had time to do, and so we can be at home doing those things. But it's also okay to be still and to not always have something going, not always be busy, to just sit back and enjoy. It is possible to be home and enjoy your time with your family. Many of you I know are probably suffering financially or physically, or maybe you don't have a lot of spare time because you're working from home, and maybe you're trying to teach your children. I understand that. I don't have kids at home that I'm teaching right now, but I am on the local school board, and so I am on the loop as to what's going on with the schools and the seriousness of that. And so I know that teachers and families and many people are still very busy at their home. So I'm trying to be mindful of that as well. Just something that I thought of this morning when I was walking at the park, that I saw the flag waving in the wind, and it reminded me of we are the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we all need to be very brave during this time, but we need to remember especially our first responders and our medical people and those who are in the trenches and on the front line. They are heading to the fight. They are walking right into the war, and we need to support them however we can, and pray that the loss of life is minimal. The new numbers out for loss of life are quite staggering, and I pray that that is not the case. And so I'm practicing. I want to be home. I don't want to get this virus for myself or my family, and I don't want to be a carrier and spread it to other people. And some of you live in other states. There are some states that are still not doing non-essential workers at home, and that's not, my business. That's not, anything that I have any control over. But I live in a state that the epicenter of this virus is at, and it's very serious. And so our family's doing what we can to protect those that are vulnerable to this virus. And sometimes it's hard to not have anywhere to go, but I hope that if we can all do that, that it'll be short-lived, and we'll be back to what our lives were. Well, our lives will probably never be the same, and I hope some of the practices that we pick up during this time will remain, because the things that we will end up doing and spending time at are probably some of the most important things that we can do. My goal has always been to love God and to love people, to love Him with all my heart, mind, and soul, and to love my neighbor as myself. That is my purpose in life. And so however that plays out for me, it's going to look different for you than it does for me. But I'm loving my neighbor by staying home. And it's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. But that's what I'm doing today and for as long as it takes. So I'll let you know how the gluten-free cookies turn out tomorrow. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.